Hey everybody, welcome back to Steve's Garage. I hope you're all having a good day. I know I am. We're in a heat wave here in jolly old New England, and been 100 degrees for the past couple days. Going to be about the same today, and so we're staying out of the sunshine today. They say it feels like 110 with the humidity. I'm like, it feels like about 200 to me. So anyway, just wanted to catch you up. You're saying to yourself, what is this? It is not a new catcher's mask for the Boston Red Sox. This is the stationary fender that goes on the wheel that I've been building for this hot rod. And I just want to get them done, wrapped up. I'm going to put this one on, show you how it works. Then we're going to put the other one together, and we'll go from there. So I hope you're all having a great day. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for tuning in, and we're having a lot of fun here. It is summertime, so enjoying the hot weather, even though everybody likes to complain about the heat, but better than snow. So what I did was first you saw in my last video, I was building these transparent fenders. They're going to be, spider webby to kind of go with this thing here. They kind of remind me of something maybe off the Alien movie, and that's some of my favorite stuff, watching those Alien movies. And the artist H.G. Geiger, I think he's from Sweden or Denmark or somewhere over there, Finland. But the guy, he did all the design work and the drawing for the Alien movies, and one of my favorite artists, so check him out. But anyway, what I did was I made this plate, of course, made this first, have spacers on here, and then I welded these rods on, which had to be curved to so it'll be flat on the plate and then touching here to the fender. And I'll bolt this on. What I did was I drilled holes through the plate that holds my caliper on for my disc brakes, and no harm with what I did. It was just a plate that, stationary, has no, it goes all the way around where the kingpin is here. So it didn't do any, what am I trying to say? It doesn't, structurally, it's not an issue, you know what I mean? So I took and drilled holes, and then I threaded them the hard way, old school. And so now I've got 5/16 or 3/8, I should say, bolts holding this thing in place. And should get me down the road, no problem. I use 1/2-inch rod right here. This is 1/2-inch, so we've got plenty of holding power, and I don't expect much, if any, vibration to this thing when you're driving. So let me take the jack, jack this up. There you can see the tire spinning. Let me take you off the rack here. So there's a lot of, it's not a ton of clearance, but there's a lot of clearance around the tire. And this thing here, very rigid. If you look at it, It's not going to vibrate into the tire, and I'm very confident about that. It's built real strong, rigid, and should have no problems with it. I'm going to paint this gasser green, same as the frame, and it'll kind of match with the cobwebs. So that's how this side came out. Yeah, I couldn't be happier with it. So we'll get set up here. And we'll look at how we constructed this thing. These are my leather pieces of leather for when we weld to keep the car from being, get spatter on it. And just so you know, if you're welding onto an actual vehicle, make sure you at least disconnect the negative, but I disconnected the positive also, so we're not feeding that 220 amps into the system and burning out fuses and components and switches and all that kind of stuff. So, excuse me. So let's get rolling here. Plug in some batteries. Yeah, so in New England, I think all over the country, we got a heat wave going. Nothing better to do than sit on the old couch and watch some YouTube. We're just getting over a couple of summer colds here. Both my wife and I had them, and not fun. So, let me get you set up here. So what I did for the other side that you just saw complete is I made these plates. Let's cut them out with a jigsaw and a metal blade, and then place them, clamp it into place, and then we will drill it in and thread the holes, get that in place. Then we'll put our fender on top, and we'll make our 1/2-inch round rods to fit. So I'm just kind of wrap my head around where all my parts are from the other day, because I haven't been out here in a couple days. And that's it. So when you thread a hole, it's just 3/8, and this is a 5/16 drill. And when you buy them, they'll both come in the same package. And so you drill the hole first, then you thread this through. This cuts your threads in place, and then you're good to go with a bolt. Pretty basic, pretty easy. I'm gonna make sure I get this camera so hopefully my head isn't in the way all the time. Now, let me get a clamp. I'm just using a good old-fashioned C-clamp. Now I take and I sharpen my own drills. So this one might need a little bit of a sharpening, which it does. And I just simply take over to the grinder. I just grind them by hand. Very simplistic. I just took this one over. Trying to get that to focus. And you can see that I just ground that on the grinder. And I grind mine a little steeper than they, typically they're like 30 degrees, but I grind them a little bit steeper because I find they cut just a little bit better. Or faster, I should say. I've been sharpening my own bits for years. No shop is not complete without a bench grinder. So I want to be in about the same place as the other side. So we're going to do our standard eyeballing. What the? Another thing I find is that don't drill at high speed. I don't have it cranked down. I find that going at a slower speed, it's cutting, like faster. It's grabbing more metal, and it's also not heating up the drill bit and the metal as you're going through. And that's a big, a big thing, because if you heat the blade up, or you heat the drill bit up, you're basically you got to dull it out even faster. Just want to make sure we're good there, and we are. So now we're going to thread that hole, then we can get the plate bolted in place, and put the, get the next hole in place. So I want to move this camera around so we can see this operation. So now what I do is they make a tool for these which has a little chuck in the middle and has it has a handle on each side, and you twist it around. But I'm just using a socket and a drive and go from there. That's what I find is, just as easy. I put a little oil on that. Hopefully you saw that. And we're just gonna get it in the hole here. Get it going. And you're gonna put pressure on there. And you're just gonna start threading it in. And eventually it'll grab because it is tapered. Now it's grabbed. We're basically just threading that through. That's cutting our grooves for our 3/8 bolt. And that's as easy as it is. Not a big deal. Like I've always said, don't be afraid to try any of this stuff. Everyone thinks, oh, you got to be a machinist or something, but you don't. You can buy all these parts. I bought these threaders, the threaded pieces here. What I'm trying to say, to do this work, I bought at the local hardware store. And there it is. Then you give it, once you get it all the way through, you give it a few back and forth to clean those holes. And that's it. Then you unscrew it, check it. And that is that. Let me get some air. Blow that hole out. We'll also clean our little thread piece there. So now I've got to grab a bolt. That is a tap, by the way. So I've got to widen out this hole, but we'll see the 3/8 here. Hopefully that's the right one. That's it. Goes in nice and a little bit hard, which is good. So it's all working good. Threads are cut with your tap. Let me widen this hole out. Yes, so we have a little heat wave in here. What the heck are you gonna do? That's it. Put that over that other hole. Take a clamp. Clamp it down so when that grabs, you don't get thrown around the shop here, or cut, one or the other. Probably not a good day to go to the hospital. You probably got people in there with all kinds of heat exhaustion going on. So that's that. Trying to, keep you guys in the camera, get the best angle for you. So now we've got this piece we can put on in place. Now the thing I have to watch out for is right here. I'm going to turn the wheel, make sure that clears. Now I can't see it, so you got to tell me that it cleared. Now I got to jack it up. Did it clear? I can't hear you. Yes, still got like an 1/8 of an inch of space there. It's turned all the way over. So we're in good position. Now I've got to measure. I need a spacer for right there. See it? So I'm going to take a piece of square stock, tubular, and we're going to cut that. So what I'm going to do is take my little square, put the cap on that water, and I'm going to mark out where I marked it here. So I've got a nice square piece as I go around. As you can see, just mark that right around with that framing square, which is a little bit of a trick in itself over the years. You got to remember as you go from one side to the other to try to stay off your line, make room for the width of your pen, and that's that. Got that. Gloves. Now that's going to be HOT. Take a pair of pliers, pick it off the floor. That's a trick you need to learn, which you learn pretty fast, is don't pick hot stuff up off the floor. I've done it a million times. You kind of get in a rush and you're doing your thing, you know. Now we're over in the grinding department. We're just cleaning up those edges. I'm cleaning up around the base so I can get a good weld on there. Because this stuff comes with a little bit of oil on it. And if you don't clean the metal, you most likely won't get a good bond from the weld, you know. So let me take that other piece off. Stuff in the way, including me. Sorry about that, guys. So we're gonna turn our gas on. Just checking my bottle, it's getting low. Gonna need a new one eventually here. Put your ground on. It's going like that, right? Okay. And this piece, I'm just checking my other one. I'm keeping consistent. I'm like right there. Fire that up. And this weld isn't doing anything but holding that in place. It's not structural. Sorry about all the sniffling, I apologize. But between the pollen and, like I said, we had this summer cold we're both getting over, is what it is. Now that's hot. So we call HOT hot. So we'll bolt this back in place. Not hot up here. After taking that screw in and out a couple times, it's starting to thread easier. But yes, drilling and tapping, very simple. Like I said, all this stuff is, you know, don't be afraid of it. And I turn my tire out so it'll be easier for me to drill. And I have no, again, no need to measure. It is what it is. I'm going to throw a little bit of a cut on this drill again because it's a little bit worn. I'll give it a quick touch up. And there's no sense in not doing it because we're right here. And like I said, I'm trying not to overheat the drill bit even when I'm sharpening it. It's all finesse. A little bit of finesse, that's all. Make sure I'm on my flats. I'm going to swap bits out. You got to keep sharpening them because you're going through steel. I can't see what's happening on the other side of that hole. So I've got my whole pilot at this point. I'm going to take this plate off now. Summertime. Well, I got my tomatoes planted, 18 of them. And they're looking real good. I'm going to hit this bit one more time. Man, getting through that first plate, this is hard steel down here. Have to hit it again. This is what you got to go through. Sharpening, as good as, everyone sells you steel bits. Oh, it goes through steel. Goes through steel once. And believe me, I bought the big buck bits, you name it. Just got to keep on working at it. Bits are burning. We'll do this on the other side too, because we got a 1/4 inch steel plate that's like a harder steel. Once you get through that, you're into the cast iron, and it goes pretty quick. All right. So after going back and forth a bunch of times, and sharpening bits, finally got through. It's this first plate is harder than the cast iron, and it certainly was not happy being drilled. But once I got through that, the cast iron went much, much easier. So we got the tap. Where's my freaking wrench? What the hell? Here it is. Always looking for something. And when you're tapping, you kind of, work it back and forth as you go forward. And again, it's cleaning your screw holes, you know what I mean? Cleaning your threads. Put a little oil on there. A little oil for toil. I've never broken one of these dies, threading, but I have broken an easy out. And these are hardened steel. So when you break these, I'm just about through. When you break these, you're screwed. And hopefully there's enough of it hanging out to... So now we're all the way through. It's going nice and easy now. And then, like I said, work it back and forth. We're bottomed out. Nice. So, a little work, but we're done. I'm glad that one's done. The other one was just as hard. It's just a matter of getting through it, that's all. So I'll clean that out, put it back in my little box, put the proper bit that goes with it, and that's it. Keep them together for the next trip. Now, sweating like I'm in church. So, clean this oil up. Everything's gonna have to be cleaned afterwards, and it is what it is. So let's get that piece back on, then we can get our round rod going and go from there. All right. I just spent 15 minutes looking through my bolt bin for the proper bolt, and even this one's a little too long, but I'll take it. Get through the rest of the project here, and we'll get the proper size later on. Good to have a bolt bucket, because you never know. All right, are you still with me? You're not falling asleep on the couch, are you? Trying to show you what this takes. It's a lot of finagling. If it was easy, everybody'd be on YouTube. Perfect. Took a while, but hey, we're there. So now, I'm going to straighten these out. You're gonna take it down off the jack. How's that sound? Right, I'll get that out of the way. So, we got our fender, one up top here. These spacers have to be set like at the point here to get that to settle down where you want it. Spacers worked out great. I'll do that again in a minute. I want to see what my other side looks like. So we do want to have consistency. Get it plumbed up. Top of the tire. That looks pretty good. The only thing I want to do though, what I didn't do on the other side is I think I want to strap it down so it doesn't, because it wants to move a little bit. So I'm going to take a bunch of ties which I have here floating around somewhere. Everything's floating. So I was on the other side yesterday looking for stuff, and I found this whole bucket of white ties, and I'll never use white ties on the project. I like the black ones because they kind of like disappear a little bit, you know? See how many I'm going to need here. Maybe 4 will do it. Yeah. Do the same thing up here. Make sure where we want to be. One good thing about having spoked wheels, that's awesome. Oh shoot, I didn't measure the back, so I've got to do that. I should have measured before I did that, but hopefully it'll move. So I've got 15 from the floor to the back of the fender. And here we've got 18. So everything I just did was for nothing. Let's cut that free. And again, that's the way it goes when you're making custom stuff. There's 100 things to think about all the time. There's 15. Check the front. That's 22. That's 22. Oh, we dropped. 15. 15, 2, 'Something screwing me up here. That's perfect. So, let's try it again. So that's what I'm saying. When you're making stuff, you got to triple check your numbers, and it's always something in the way. So, I hope you're enjoying your summer so far. It's a hot one over here, but that's the way it goes. In the winter, we complain about the cold, us New Englanders. And in the summer, we complain about the heat and forget about the cold. All right, now I think we're doing good. Good? Good. All right. To me, looks good. Okay, that brings us to our 1/2-inch round bar. I already know I've got to cut a piece about 44 inches from doing the one the other day. So we'll measure and mark. No, we were 40 inches, sorry. So they're like 12-inch pieces, so I want a little overage for the roll. And that's that. Okay, let's get this cut, rolled, get our pieces cut, and then we will weld that on, and that'll be it. So here's my roller. Now I know from doing the other piece that that's where we're going to wind up. So I want to put a piece of tape on there. and mark it. So we'll take a piece of blue tape. It's going to bottom out there. I know we're going to wind up flopped out here. So we're going to take that off. 1, 2, 3. That was three is there. Back out here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Now we've got the matching angle to the other side. And that's it. So when you're making multiples, always keep track of, you know, numbers. You want your both your sides matching. I'm going to show you our pieces once they're cut and put in. It matches that. Slid under here. I'm on top of that. So our angles match. Okay? All right. So we're going to do that same thing over on this side. Get my pen. So this first one, they've got a problem now. Darn it. All right. So I'm welded right here. I want to mark that by measuring the other side. As you can see, this piece is about 7/8 up from that corner. So when I did that side, I just freehanded it. I didn't measure anything. So now we've got to take all those numbers and transfer them. So we're right here. Down in that area. Okay. All the noise. We like to make noise, I guess. Cleaning all that factory, bluing, whatever that stuff is. All right, I'm going to move the welder over. Need my mopper. Let him mop down. Sweating, even with the AC on. All right. So I'm trying to do minimal welding while it's bolted to the car, and I'll do my finish welding afterwards. Let's cut our next piece. Got to measure the other side. And from the seam, that's 6 1/2, 6 3/8. All right, let's get this piece cut. So this one I cut down without you. Didn't think you needed to see another one get cut and ground down. That one goes like that. Lousy setup here. The thing I need to do is cover this stuff. I gotta move you guys. So I can't get close enough with my welder. That's better. We put a glove on. Whew, that one was tough. That one was tough. All right, that'll hold. Okay, one more, then we can take it off. Now, like I did on the other side, I measured between these two, which was 20 inches, and that's also 20 inches. And I just went to the 10-inch mark, marked that. That's my center line. And this, I'm looking over to the other side to see my placement. I'm like just in front of the kingpin there. About a ½ inch up. Ow. So let me get this one cut. We'll come back, weld it in, take this apart. So we're over an hour now. We're an hour and 11 minutes. I don't like to go too much over an hour. All right. Okay. Turn off your gas. All right. Let's get some stuff moved around here. Get in order. Take this thing apart. See what we got. This is going to be HOT. So let's cut these here. Threads are nice in there. Well, there you see it, made. Of course, I've got to weld all the inside, all the outside. Now let's put it back on so you can see it done without all the stuff holding it together. Those threads, threaded it by hand almost all the way. This one, the same thing, almost down to the bottom end, but I'm not going to pull back and forth. I only have a spot welded on, but it's in good shape. So that was a little bit of work, guys. Let's jack it up. Oh. Got my oil on. There it is, spinning. I think that is so cool. I couldn't be happier with that project. That was a lot of work, that one, guys. It took me, I'm looking, that was a 2-hour video. We did it in 1 hour and 20 minutes because of stopping and starting, but I think I pretty much have twins on both sides. And that's that. So, thanks for coming back. That was a project. It's a hot one today. We're sweating, but it's all good. All my numbers match pretty well. Looks pretty darn good to me. And once we get it all painted up, I'm painting it the same color, the The gas are green. I'm waiting on the paint right now, coming from Eastwood. And it's going to look pretty cool rolling down the road. So thanks for coming back and hanging out with me for an hour and 20 minutes. And when we come back, we're going to start getting hot to trot on the 35 and keep that rolling. It is summertime, so we're having summertime fun, and I'll work on it as much as I can for you, and we'll keep up with it. So hey, thanks for all the great comments. Thanks for the new subscribers. As I say 100 times, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are great. I really enjoy talking with you. You've been telling me about your projects. I try to respond to pretty much everybody. If I don't respond, I at least give you a like button, whether you didn't like something or do like something. It doesn't matter to me. It's your opinion, which is wonderful, because I got you talking about it. So have a great day. We'll see you on the next one, guys. See you later. Stay cool.